Good afternoon to you. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade. Happy Thursday. We've almost made it through another week and almost another week where we have not been impacted by any tropical systems across southeast Texas. Thank goodness. So let's try to keep that trend going for now. I think we will remain pretty quiet locally, but there are some systems blowing up out there that could cause some problems elsewhere. So I do want to break things down for you and let you know what's happening out there in the tropics. Of course, when we're in hurricane season, we are here to update you on what's happening every single afternoon, all the way through the end of hurricane season, which goes all the way through November 30th. So we are still in September. We're getting closer to the end of September. This year is just flying by, in my opinion. Of course, that peak of hurricane season was right around September 10th, and we have made it past that. But notice on the map, we're still in that area, that period where things usually are pretty active across the Atlantic basin. That includes the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean Sea, and of course the Atlantic Ocean. So we've still got the chance for more of these tropical cyclones to pop up, and they could head our way. Fortunately, this one not heading our way, not heading anywhere close to us or close to the U.S. or Canada for that matter. This is Hurricane Nigel, still a Category 1 hurricane, now up into northern portions of the Atlantic, the north central Atlantic. It's off to the east and northeast of Canada, and over the next few days it's going to be losing those tropical characteristics since it is moving over some cooler water, and by early next week likely getting closer to Iceland, believe it or not. But it will still be a fairly strong system. However, it will not be a tropical system anymore. It will be post-tropical, but still packing some pretty strong winds as it gets closer to Iceland. So that one moving away from us, but this is the system that I'm more concerned about. Not an official tropical cyclone yet, but we're calling it potential tropical cyclone number 16. I'm more concerned about this one because it's developing right off of the southeastern U.S. coast. It's developing east of the east coast of Florida and off to the east and southeast of the Carolina coast, and it is drifting north. So the models are indicating that with it being in the warm waters out there, developing over that warm waters, we are going to have the potential for this to rapidly strengthen, rapidly develop over the next 24 hours. It's not going to have a large window to form because it is expected to make landfall by early Saturday along the Carolina coast, but it is going to have the opportunity, at least short term, to strengthen, kind of get its act together, develop that more well-defined center of circulation, and potentially become a tropical storm by tomorrow evening. In fact, the official forecast does put this at tropical storm status by tomorrow evening. You can see some of the tropical storm warnings that are already in place. It's the areas shaded in that dark blue, and that does include the majority of the North Carolina coast, and it extends up into the mid-Atlantic as well. So potential tropical cyclone 16 currently with maximum sustained winds around 35 miles per hour, movement to the north at 8 miles per hour, and that pressure right at 1,012 millibars. Here's the official forecast. Right now it's off to the east of the Florida Peninsula, but it is going to track northward over the next couple of days, likely becoming a tropical storm by tomorrow afternoon and evening with 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. I think by Saturday morning, it is going to be pushing onshore towards the North Carolina coast, likely bringing that threat for the tropical storm force winds, maybe some gusts around 70, possibly 75 miles per hour, several inches of rain possible, maybe a few tornadoes, and there is a storm surge risk with this as well. So we've got tropical storm warnings out for portions of the Carolina coast and mid-Atlantic, and also storm surge watches and warnings out with this as well. So it's not going to become an extremely powerful system, but it is still going to bring some impacts to parts of the U.S. East Coast. By Sunday afternoon, weakening likely back to a depression, 35 miles per hour, and even weaker on Monday at 30 miles per hour as it gets close to New York City. So this one is just going to ride right along the East Coast and still cause some problems out there at some of the beaches, some stronger wind, strong rip currents, heavy rain that could lead to some coastal flooding and that storm surge as well. So we're going to have to monitor that one closely. We could have another tropical storm. The name would likely be either Ophelia or Philippe. We're not 100% sure on the name. because we have another tropical system that could get named pretty quickly as well. But anyway, the chance for development for our potential tropical cyclone 16 is right at 60% through the next 2 days, 60% through the next 7 days. So that puts it at a medium chance for development. So we've got this system to monitor. We've got Nigel, which is a Category 1 hurricane racing away from us. And this is the third and final system that we are monitoring at this point. Still a tropical wave in the far east Atlantic, but now a higher chance for development over the next 48 hours, up to a 40% shot for development and a very high 80% chance to this tropical wave developing as we go into the next 7 days. So a high chance that this will become either Philippe or Ophelia, likely a tropical depression or tropical storm over the next few days. So I think by the weekend, we likely have a tropical storm on our hands, and it is going to slowly but surely strengthen as we go into next week. Notice the track for this one. It is developing a little bit farther to the south, so we can't rule out this going into the Gulf of Mexico or the Caribbean, depending on where it tracks within this red shaded area. But this could actually head into the Eastern Caribbean as we go into next week. So we'll have to watch it closely. Even if it stays out of the Caribbean, it likely would impact parts of the Lesser Antilles and Puerto Rico and maybe the Turks and Caicos. So a lot to watch with that one. I want to show you the European model showing you potential tropical cyclone 16 hugging the U.S. East Coast, the southeast U.S. coast at this point. It is going to roll to the north, and notice by 4 p.m. Friday, getting close to that Carolina coast, likely the North Carolina coast, and making landfall by Saturday morning. So that is when that weather really starts to go downhill Friday evening, Friday night, Saturday, with that threat for the coastal flooding, storm surge, and also that potential for some strong wind as well. So we'll be monitoring that one. That will weaken as we go into early next week. Then our attention turns to this other system that will be pushing into the central Atlantic. This will either be Ophelia or Philippe, and it could push into the Eastern Caribbean or the southwestern Atlantic. So those Caribbean islands will have a higher chance from this one to be impacted. You see it close to the Lesser Antilles and close to Puerto Rico by Wednesday of next week. So a lot to watch, but the good news at this point, nothing appearing to be threatening us, at least for the next few days. We'll have to wait and see where that wave, that tropical wave in the Atlantic goes, but right now it looks like it likely would stay far enough north to not head our way, but it'll be a close call, so we'll watch it closely. So far this year, 15 named storms, 6 hurricanes, 3 major hurricanes. That puts us close to average for an entire hurricane season, but we've still got a couple more months to get through, so we're likely going to end up above average with our hurricane season. Typically, an average season would include 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. We've already had 3 major hurricanes. We've already had 6 hurricanes and 15 named storms. So even if the hurricane season ended right now, it would pretty much be what we normally anticipate. But we've still got 2 more months to go. So that means we will likely be adding to this list of names that we've used so far for this hurricane season. So I think we have a pretty good shot to have Ophelia and Philippe being used and being named as tropical storms or hurricanes over the next couple of days, because both of those systems look fairly promising. The one close to Florida and the one in the Eastern Atlantic both appear that they will likely become at least tropical storms. So at this point, there's the system right off of the coast of Florida. Things are quiet though in the Gulf of Mexico, quiet in the Caribbean. We'll have to monitor that system in the Eastern Atlantic to see if it would creep into the Eastern Caribbean, but for now, things remain quiet. However, water temps are super warm out there. We've got that really steamy warm water, 80s to low 90s in the Gulf. Still very warm waters for the Caribbean, and it is the same story for the Atlantic Ocean. Check out all of those water temps in the 80s and that 90-degree reading just off of the southern tip of Florida. So we've got some very warm water out there. That's why we're concerned that this hurricane season, even though the last part of it could still be fairly busy. Fortunately, nothing heading our way right now, but we will be monitoring potential tropical cyclone 16. that strong tropical wave in the eastern Atlantic, and also Hurricane Nigel. Those are the three systems that we are watching at the moment. So that is all that I have for you for our tropical update for today. Remember, if you haven't already, hopefully you have it on your phone, but if you haven't, make sure to grab our Fox 26 weather app for all things tropical and of course your local weather too. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade. Have a great rest of your Thursday.